Next, we're going to talk about the new launch of Atomy Quantum Energy Stick. It has been launched on May 1st, and up until now, we are getting a lot of feedbacks and a lot of attention from members. So this is one another prestige product with absolute quality, absolute price. So before we start, we invited Kim Kyung-yeon from OK Oriental Medical Hospital and Jung Chol-jung, CEO from Okcheondang. They visited Atomy before, so let's meet them via VCR. Hello, I am Lee Do-sang, in charge of the product development in Atomy Orot. As you are aware of, recently Atomy launched a new product of absolute price and absolute price. That is Atomy Quantum Energy Stick. Since it is made with Oriental herbs, we need to talk about this. Hello, I'm Lee Do-sang. I'm in charge of product development of Atomy Orot. As you are aware of, Atomy newly launched the new message product of absolute quality, absolute price. That is Atomy Quantum Energy Stick. Since Quantum Energy Stick is made of the Oriental medicine herb, we need to talk about this. Gyeongokgo, which is one of the best medicine of the Oriental medicine. So we invited this expert to talk about Gyeongokgo. Like our parent generation might know Gyeongokgo. Then, what is Gyeongokgo exactly? To talk about Gyeongokgo is already mentioned in the Donguibogam, the Korean Medical Encyclopedia. That was the first prescription written in the Donguibogam. It was not the first one. Actually, it was written on the very first page. So, Donguibogam has the inner body chapter. It says the food and medicine that improve nature and extend the life. Gyeongokgo is the one that replenishes the spirit and body fluid, creates and balances the energy, rejuvenates the old man. It cures all damages and diseases to complete the body, and it energizes the 5 organs and darkens gray hair and get lost tooth again. It makes people walk like a horse running. If we take it several times a day, we don't feel thirst and hunger, and it has lots of effects in it. It may sound like an exaggeration, but it could be interpreted that it is the best of the best medicine. According to Seung-jung-won, which is a diary of lawyer secretariat, Gyeongokgo was prescribed for 350 times, and for King Youngjo, it was subscribed to 251 times. Actually, there are a lot of types in Oriental medicine, and what are the unique points of Gyeongokgo? From the medical perspective, like Oriental medical perspective, let me talk about Gyeongokgo. Gyeongokgo is about longevity, and it is also cure the symptom that is spirit of vitality, so we could get weak and sick. As Mr. Kim mentioned, Gyeongokgo is the one that vitalized our body, and in Oriental medicine, there are 2 compositions for the health. First one is the innate vitality, which is received by the parent, and the second one is the acquired vitality. So let's take an example of the vehicle. So if we have the 2 composition, we could raise our body, we could grow up our height, and we could develop our brain, and we could do this basic function. And also, it also related to make babies. And innate vitality is from the parents, so it will be consumed up. We cannot feel it. But the acquired vitality is the one that we could replenish. So the well-innated person could run up the vitality because they could consume the vitality fastly, but the one who have less innate vitality, they could acquire the new vitalities. And Gyeongokgo is for making more acquired vitality. In Donguibogam, it says that if we take Gyeongokgo 27 years, we can live up to 300 years, and if we take it 64 years, we can live up to more years. So let's say that if we take it for 27 years, we can live longer. So if we started to take it from an early age, we can live more and more, longer and longer. So we can say that this is the best of the best medicine taken by the loyal families and the kingdom. Then, from the modern medical perspective, are there any research results and clinical studies that prove the excellence of this Gyeongokgo? Actually, I'm in charge of this research of Gyeongokgo, and we've conducted a lot of research on the mixture and the composition of Gyeongokgo before. And when we well mix the Gyeongokgo, we could improve the anti-oxidation, and also we can reduce the inflammation rate in our body. And recently, we've published 4 papers in CSCI. Actually, in order to be listed in CSI, we need to go through very difficult processes. There are a lot of reviewers, and they verify and pass the result of the research. So we published 4 papers in the SCI. So I'm sure that it already proved with its effect. And what kind of people need to take Gyeongokgo? So as a Oriental medical doctor, you need to prescribe this medicine to the patient and to who needs to take Gyeongokgo. First of all, Gyeongokgo means it's as precious as jade. Gyeong means brain and ok means a fluid in kidney. According to Donguibogam, prevention and cure, brain and kidneys are composed of the body fluid and the spinal fluid, and Gyeongokgo could replenish the body fluid. And there is Crudas, Ginseng, Pachima, Holland included. These ingredients are included Gyeongokgo. So Gyeongokgo is not just for the vitality; it is also good for the health of the lung and the overall health. We all know that Gyeongokgo is really good and precious, but why it is not that much popular in the society? Are there any reason for that? Then let me say from the pharmacist perspective, let me say that there is a edible ointment. Ointment is usually for the skin, and the edible ointment is for the one that we need to take for a long time. And actually, Gyeongokgo is a edible ointment style, and it has a crudus in it. And crudus used to be harvested from the late fall and the winter, and then we need to take this Gyeongokgo for entire year. For the next year that we can produce and we can harvest the crudus. In order to store this product for a long time, we need to make it into an ointment style. And there are a lot of styles to make ointment. We could boil down into the ointment, or we could include some honey in order to make the edible ointment. But in order to make the Gyeongokgo, the details are so complicated. We need to put crudus, this amount of ginseng, we need to put this amount of honey, and then we need to put it in a jar. We need to put the paper in it, and we need to double boil it. And then lastly, we need to use the mulberry fire. In order to make the fire, we need to use the mulberry, and then we need to double boil it for 3 days. We need to rest it for 1 day, and we need to double boil it once again. What is important? No dogs and no roosters could make a sound during the boiling. So this is one and only medicine that we need to go through this kind of principle. So we need know-hows and technological strategies to make that. So after repeating this procedures, it is possible to make it? No, it is not really easy, because the amount of the ingredient or the fire, we need to fail, because we cannot adjust this amount of money, and it could go watery or it could go spoiled. So it takes several times to prepare the ingredient. It takes several times to boil down it. So that's why we could see why it is so precious and it is so hard to find the well-made Gyeongokgo in this society. Then, since it's the kind of medicine, are there any special or distinguished point from others? Actually, it has a crutus in this. You might know what is crutus, but it is kind of like mushroom grew on the pines before. Ginseng diggers walked all over the mountain with an iron stick to take Pachima Holland, but these days the technology to raise Pachima Holland has developed, and now we need to use the honey as well, and you need to take the natural honey from the flower, the wild flowers. And what is important is to take the natural honey from the clean environments. That is why it is really difficult to make the Gyeongokgo. We need to use the powder type of ginseng and Pachima Holland. But Pachima Holland has a sponge-like structure, so it also has the air inside of the structure. So it is not easily mixed with the other ingredients as a powder type. So we need to micro-grind the Pachima Holland into really small one in order to mix it with other ingredients. And as I mentioned, that we need to use the mulberry tree to fire, and we need to double boil it in a low temperature for long days. It is not like hot boiling. We need to double boil it at a lower temperature. So I might say it has to be fermented at a low temperature for a long time. And crutus has a glycoside structure. Once it is heated, it will be all lost. So we need a lot of know-how in order to ferment this Gyeongokgo. This is why it is so difficult to find the well-made Gyeongokgo in the market. Actually, in Gyeongokgo, there are a lot of wisdoms of the ancestors. So far, we've learned the effects and the origin of Gyeongokgo. And lastly, Mr. Kim, could you please let us know, is there any precautions that we need to know before taking Gyeongokgo? Most of the people think that crutus and ginseng is not really good for those who has a hot temperature. But both in ginseng and Saengjihwang change with its nature while it is being processed. So all people who had a hot temperature could also take this ingredient. And while making the Gyeongokgo, the nature of this ingredient will change. So the people with a weak stomach could also take it, but you cannot take it with mung beans and something that make your stomach cool. And you cannot also take Gyeongokgo while drinking alcohol, coffee, and so on. And if you have high blood pressure and other cardiovascular diseases or diabetes and metabolic diseases, you need to check blood pressure and blood sugar level on a regular basis. And that's all. We've talked about the features, the effect of the Gyeongokgo, and we've talked about the know-how of manufacturing Gyeongokgo. Thank you very much.